What's up, everyone? This is Spencer with Best Props today. And in this video, we're going to show you how to secure profits over on PrizePicks. And this strategy works for really any DFS site. And it even works for same game parlays and just general parlays on sports books. So I'm going to show you a live example that I have going for tonight. It is Monday, September 16th. There's a Monday night football game on tonight between the Eagles and the Falcons. And if Saquon Barkley scores a touchdown, then I will 10x my stake with this slip right here. We locked this in over on Dabble Fantasy, and I'll get back to that in a second, why we did it over there instead of Prize Picks. But this is what we have going for us. 4 picks. If they all hit, we 10x our stake. As you can see, David Montgomery, Jordan Mason, Kyron Williams all got the job done on Sunday. So now we're left with Saquon on Monday. Now I'm going to show you how to guarantee profit in this scenario when you have a slip like this with one leg remaining. There's a couple different ways you can do it. It depends on preference, but I can lay out all those scenarios, tell you what I would do, but give you all the information you need to make up your mind when you're encountered with a situation like this. So, first off, we locked this in on Dabble Fantasy, like I mentioned earlier, because it gave us a 10x return. So I put 50 to win 500 on these 4 picks. You can see the exact same 4 picks over on Prize Picks has a payout of 5.5x. Like, let that sink in for a moment, and just these demons and goblins really don't make any sense. It's just a way of reducing the payout for you, and kind of manipulating it a little bit. And it really doesn't play to your favor most times. Um, and especially in this situation, we're getting nearly double the payout for this just by taking it on a different site than Prize Picks. This one is called Dabble Fantasy. It's one of my favorite DFS sites at the moment. And they're giving you a free $25 when you sign up. So that's really cool. It's a great way to check out the site, get going. You can use that free $25 to test things out. Their selection is on par with Prize Picks. Payouts are obviously a lot better, as I just showed you. You can use promo code BEST, BEST. I'll put the link in the comment section below. Deposit $5, you'll get $25. So you have $30 to play with over there, and you can do some really cool things. And by the way, this slip that we're about to hopefully 10x right here, check this out. This was on Friday. This little slip right here, I put it out there and I said, this is what we're rolling with, guys. So, I mean, if this isn't evidence that you need to subscribe to the channel or the Best Props Today newsletter, or check out what we got going on at bestpropstoday.com. Any way you want this information, we're putting it out there. So give us a follow, subscribe, stay notified to get picks like this. By the way, we went 6-0 on anytime touchdown props last week. We are 3-0 this week. If Saquon hits tonight, we're going to go 4-0. 10-0 in the first 2 weeks of football for these anytime touchdown picks. So back to it. How are we going to secure our profits? You have to think of this like a trader. When you're trading a stock, you're buying low, the price goes up. You want to secure your profit and then maybe let it run a little more so you can still capture that upside without having the same risk of the stock going down and all of a sudden you're losing money. So that's the same mentality that we're going with here. So I laid out a very simple scenario of how to do this. Now, if we don't hedge, Saquon scores a touchdown, we will get $450 profit. Remember, I wagered $50 to win 500 here. So that would be $450 profit, $50 loss if he doesn't score that touchdown. So if we do a 50-50 hedge, I'll show you how to do this. If Saquon scores a touchdown, we will get 225 profit. If he doesn't, we will get 247 profit. Now you can alter those numbers a little bit. I'm going to show you how we arrived at that. So basically 225 is half of the 450 that is our potential profit in this scenario. So I went to a sports book. You can do this at any sports book as long as they have the opposite side of the bet that you are on. Now, what I mean by that, look over here. We have Saquon Barkley. DraftKings has players to not score a touchdown. They have that market. I know there are a couple other sports books out there that do the same. His odds to not score a touchdown is plus 110 tonight. So if I put that in, I can put $225, which is half of our expected profit of 450 if he hits, and our payout is 472.50. So I'm basically splitting this down the middle, and we will get at least minimum $225 back tonight. If I do it this way, if he doesn't score 247, say I want to flip that number and just make it a little bit heavier on the side where if Saquon scores a touchdown, we will get more. So I'll put 200 in here. That'll give us 220. So I'll change these numbers. That'll give us 220 if he does not score. That will be our profit. And then if he does score, 250. So I think I like that a little bit more. Split down the middle, or pretty close to that. Weighed a little heavier on Saquon to score. Obviously, we like him to score tonight. The odds are in his favor. And let's be frank, that's why I took the touchdown prop to begin with. The guy had 3 touchdowns last week. He's at home, the home debut. Relatively high scoring game here. I like Saquon to score, and that's going to sort of influence my hedge opinion here. If it was something a little bit different, a different player with different odds, I would approach this situation much differently. So, especially, we're getting plus money odds here. If you get anything even or plus money on your hedging opportunity, that is a slam dunk to at least hedge a little bit. Now, if you get longer odds, let's say anything minus 130, 40, especially if you get into the minus 150 and above to hedge, that changes things because you're going to have to lay a lot of money to hedge just a little bit. And that's going to eat into your profit. So that's kind of a loose rule of thumb is if the odds are minus 120 or better as in closer to even or plus money, those are your prime hedging opportunities in situations like this when the odds get when they're above minus 120 into the minus 130s, 40s, 50s. I would probably shy away from that and just let it ride because at that point, it's really not worth it. So there's another way you can do this. Back to our situation that we were talking about earlier with Saquon. Or loss cover. You can do it this way, basically where you're covering your losses so you are guaranteed to not lose anything on this prop as it stands right now. But there's still a very healthy amount of upside. So we can do this by, as you remember, $450 is our potential profit. If we come in here and let's just say 50, I can put 50, I can put 45. I just put 50 for the sake of simplicity here. That will profit us $55 if Saquon does not score a touchdown. So that will cover our loss of $50 on this slip. And then that $50 that we put on there would eat into our profit of 450 if Saquon does score a touchdown. So actually, in this situation, I'm going to take a step back and say, what would you do in this situation? Because this is where it comes down to a matter of personal preference. Some people say, let it ride. I love Saquon to score a touchdown. That's why I took the prop in the first place. 450 profit, minus 50 if he doesn't score. Some people say, secure as much money as possible in this situation at the risk of some of the upside. But hey, look at that. You could secure 250 in profit, um, or 220 minimum here. And then some people say, hey, just hedge enough to cover your loss, but keep your bet with the upside to Saquon scoring a touchdown. I am leaning towards, in this scenario, obviously it would change if the odds are different, the loss cover situation where basically I cannot lose. I would put $50 on Saquon to not score a touchdown. That would give me $5 of profit if he doesn't score and 400 if he does, because I really like him in this situation as I outlined earlier. That's why we took the bet. But at the same time, like I want to limit my downside, and I'm in a unique position to do that. So let's cover our loss and then let's ride this out and root for him to score at least one anytime touchdown tonight, um, to maximize our profit. So that's the way I would be leaning for this. Obviously, if it was a different player, a different matchup, and a different situation, that might change my philosophy. I might be more inclined to go to the 50-50 hedge in that situation. But just the way everything looks, and we're what, 6.5 hours before kickoff here. Maybe if you ask me tomorrow what I would do in this situation, I would have a different answer knowing the outcome. But I think loss cover is the way to go here, and it's what I'm going to do. So that explains how to secure your profits over on PrizePicks or any other DFS site by using a sports book. And yet again, I know there's going to be a lot of people out there who are like, the reason I play PrizePicks is because DraftKings is not legal in my state. There are other sports books. There are sweepstakes sports books like Rebet and Flip that are available in 45 to 48 states that you can use this strategy with as well. So look into those. Um, Obviously, put any questions, comments down below, and I will get back to those. I know this is kind of confusing stuff. It's a little bit of math, it's a little bit of back and forth. Some of it can get kind of convoluted. I tried to explain it as clearly as possible, but obviously, some of it might get lost in translation. That's where you can ask questions, and I can come back and clarify. Otherwise, if you want picks like this, if you want these ahead of time rather than me explaining them to you now when it's too late to lock them in, that's why you got to subscribe to the channel or subscribe to the newsletter. Um, and obviously, take these picks where they will get the best payout. I cannot stress that enough. Shopping between different DFS sites is paramount. And this example shows you why, because 10x on Dabble Fantasy, 5.5x over on Prize Picks. It's a world of difference, and it makes a difference on how or if we're going to secure profit tonight with this hedging strategy. So that is all today. Good luck in your future picks and happy cashing.